Hello there, Commonwealth from here. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is out, and along with big third parties got their directs, while the new Kirby party game, the release date trailer of Bayonetta 3, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 2 release date trailer got YouTube uploads and Twitter directs. With it, most of what would have been in the E3 Direct if E3 2022 wasn't cancelled has been brought out by Nintendo by August, right? No, and throughout this video, after you have smashed the like and subscribe buttons, we will detail what Nintendo is still holding back. You know, now that the potential Smash replacement opener with a brand new track with Mario Kart 8 Anti-Gravity and none other than Waluigi Pinball for the first time in HD went up in the least momentous way to mark the 30th anniversary of Mario Kart this month. That is what happens when there is no general Nintendo Direct in June, and the release of Wave 2 is long before a September Nintendo Direct. Speaking of September, let's get Splatoon 3 quickly covered, as this is probably the game with the most consistent marketing since the reveal. 2 appearances in 2021, and so far 2 appearances in 2022. Though with the Mario Kart 8 DLC Wave 2 announcement done before we entered August and Wave 3 releasing most likely in December, we shouldn't be surprised if we see a Splatoon 3 Direct soon. Mainly since the release of the game is on Friday, September 9th. And every Splatoon thus far has had a Direct or presentation in the weeks prior to release, so expect something in August. The more we look at it, the release date reveal was probably planned for E3, as the release date announcement for September 9th came in late April, most likely switching release dates with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Still, Nintendo might have waited until June to announce the final Splatoon 3 day and perhaps even the Splatoon 3 OLED if it wasn't for the cancellation of E3 2022. On top of that, we would have most likely seen more than just a single match from the biggest multiplayer game of summer 2022. The same goes naturally for the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was delayed literally 2 days before the official cancellation announcement that also Digital E3 was cancelled. If not for this, then it is likely that we would have seen a similar push for Zelda as we saw for Animal Crossing at E3 2019, both in the case of an in-depth dive, but also ending with a slight delay announcement. From the original 2019 to spring 2020 release in the case of Animal Crossing, and in the case of Zelda from 2022 to spring 2023. It is clear that the launch timing update was planned at the end of an E3 2022 trailer, and the 7 seconds of new footage that we have received so far this year was probably a part of a longer trailer that unfortunately is still missing. And it really wouldn't surprise me if those 7 seconds was actually the beginning of said trailer, depicting what looks more and more likely to be a golden flame to begin the reforging of the damaged Master Sword. More on that possibility and a missing Divine Beast in our latest Zelda theory in the end card. The point is, we're missing, or more precisely are overdue for a new and first proper trailer of Breath of the Wild 2, with potentially the reveal of the final title of the 20th Zelda game. We deserve as much as every other imaginable upcoming Nintendo Switch game has received their final title. It has been over 3 years since the reveal and over 1 year since the previous teaser trailer. In fact, it has even been over 123 days since the last news update, which was the delay. From March 29th, it has been completely silent about the game we all want to hear and see more of. Despite a certain other open world game on its way, Breath of the Wild 2 is still the game most Nintendo Switch owners are now waiting for. The only issue is that we might have to wait even longer. The September Nintendo Directs and big Zelda reveals are a combination that usually don't happen. With that being said, a September 2022 Nintendo Direct without Zelda will not go well, as this is pretty much the last chance to see the game in a Nintendo Direct in 2022. Spring 2023 is less than 6 months away if the Nintendo Direct takes place after September 20th, and at that point the marketing has to accelerate if spring 2023 is truly the release window. Specifically with actual gameplay, which was so key to Breath of the Wild's marketing. And yes, we have our own video series for exactly that, so we're keeping the hype for you, Nintendo. Joking aside, there are other Zelda projects that can serve as placeholders until the spring 2023 release of Zelda title unknown, even with a 2022 release. Specifically, the Wind Waker HD over Twilight Princess HD. Why? As they need Twilight Princess HD for later. Perhaps for a more impressive remake, and besides, only the Wind Waker celebrates an anniversary this year. The original GameCube release in Japan was 20 years ago, and the Wii U version is literally ready to be ported over to the Switch, as the art style has not aged a single day since the 2002 and 2013 releases. It is an open-world sailing adventure with excellent islands, not so different to what the Sky Islands of Breath of the Wild 2 will offer. It is just that with this lineup for the rest of 2022, just packed with third parties in October and dominated by Pokemon in November, it is late September, sometime in December, or nothing for the Wind Waker until at least 2024. A late September release requires most likely a reveal prior to a September Direct, unless this presentation takes place on Thursday, September 1st, for release on Friday, September 23rd or 30th. A September 1st Nintendo Direct makes sense, as it will be over half a year at this point since the previous general Nintendo Direct. Not only that, PAX West is starting 2 days later and Nintendo is confirmed to be attending, so it wouldn't surprise any of us if this is the date. Not only that, this Nintendo Direct could get a combo with the reveal of the Wind Waker HD and a new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and then have the Wind Waker HD Switch Edition playable on the PAX show floor in Seattle, just a short drive away from Nintendo of America's headquarters in Redmond. Though keep in mind, if the Wind Waker HD is not a September release, then it will be either a big Zelda sailing adventure or Metroid Prime HD in December. Why? Metroid Prime HD Remake has been heavily rumored for a 20th anniversary celebration of Metroid Prime's first release, which was in the US. Yes, when Japan got the Wind Waker first, North America got Metroid Prime, as already back in 2002, Nintendo knew that Metroid doesn't sell in Japan, but does quite well in Western markets, and especially the US. Also, Retro Studios is based in Austin, Texas, so there's that as well. December seems to be a likely candidate, and with a reveal of said remake in a September Nintendo Direct, it wouldn't surprise anyone if it is together with a tease of Metroid Prime 4, over 5 years after the reveal. Yep, fellow Zelda fans, it could always be worse. Then again, Metroid fans including myself had a new game with Dread in 2021, so it sort of evens out. Though we might miss out on the latter if Nintendo just decides to upload and tweet out the remake. But if that was to happen, then we'll probably not even end up with a September Nintendo Direct in the first place. Since what is the point when the last big release of 2022, even when it is a remake, isn't there? If Metroid Prime Remake is real, it has to be revealed in a September Nintendo Direct. Plain and simple. That is our only hope for so much else in September as well. Now over from two franchises that deserve more information on Nintendo Direct in 2022 to a franchise where some of the fans have absolutely no patience at all for new official information. Yep, I'm talking about the part of the Pokemon fans who have been spreading some very blurry images and text bombs that have been stolen from Game Freak. Not only that, but they have been terrible at covering it up so that the leaked information has reached the Pokemon fans that want to avoid them until the Pokemon company themselves decide to bring the goods to the table, or wait until the release itself. What is worse is that this leak situation was completely unnecessary since we don't have a Gen 9 Pokemon drought. Speaking of, I'll be in London from August 18 to 21st as press for the championships, so hopefully we get something new and who knows, perhaps the game will even have a playable demo there. We can always hope, and the same goes for PAX West, which we have already mentioned that Nintendo will be attending with a booth, unlike Gamescom. It seems that September 2022 is when normality will be restored in Nintendo's marketing. Now then, are there any other missing Nintendo Direct reveals at this point? Naturally, since Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp has to come out eventually, since it was revealed at E3 2021, and the reason delaying it doesn't seem to have a quick happy end in sight. Then we have the brand new reveals that we still know nothing about. No, not Super Mario Odyssey 2, as September Nintendo Directs with the exception of 2018, don't reveal for the first time brand new games of Nintendo's best-selling franchises. Then what? Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online. Every year except 2020, since Nintendo Switch Online became a paid service, we have gotten a new retro system added to it. We don't know the future lineup of N64 releases on the Switch, but Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online will be perfect in September to secure some Mario, Zelda, Metroid and Pokemon classics within NSO, especially since both of them were part of Wii U's Virtual Console. But what about new physical releases in the first half of 2023, apart from Zelda obviously? Well, we've talked about the new Donkey Kong with the return of King K. Rool developed by the Mario team at Nintendo Tokyo. Pikmin 4, which has been in development forever, and Miyamoto has even mentioned is close to release several years ago, and the same goes with a possible new Kid Icarus, though to be completely honest, spring 2023 and definitely summer 2023 on the game release front is currently a big mystery, which is okay, since that is what the September Nintendo Directs are for, to fill in the spring gaps like we saw with Kirby and the Forgotten Land reveal in the September 2021 Nintendo Direct. So here is a hot candidate that I completely forgot and had to add here at the end of this video. The new Fire Emblem game that naturally has ended up leaked online full with descriptions and screenshots. Yep, that is another summer 2023 or even December 2022 candidate. But what Nintendo Direct reveals do you think are still overdue and would have been public if we had a normal June Direct pattern? Sound off in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then be sure to share this video by liking it and subscribe plus press the notification bell to not miss any of our upcoming Nintendo Switch, Zelda and Nintendo Direct videos. Last but not least, a big thanks to you for watching and being a fan, and to all our patreon.com/Comeron patrons, and in particular our royal producer Charles Shash. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.